Hi there.
We are live from India. We're sat in Swami Kuti, which is an incredibly auspicious building where the teachers of Kaivalyadhama had practiced here every day, and so what we've got is the advantage of being able to absorb their energy. And we're talking about realized beings. We're talking about Swami Digambaji behind us, who was renowned in India for his Ayurvedic knowledge, and Siobhan is an Ayurvedic expert. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yes, so I've been studying here for the last 20 years, as has Vicki, and we virtually met around the same time on this path. So our teacher, Sri OP Tiwari, and then now laterally Sudhir Tiwari, are soaked in the knowledge, the science that's been handed down by people like this great physician behind me here. My focus is always more on the Ayurveda side of the system, the yoga therapy system that's delivered here at the Kaivalyadhama. And they have 100 years of research that myself and Vicki are completely immersed in. And the thing about our yoga practices and our teachings and why we come back to India year in, year out is because it's authentic. It's the type of practices that are sustainable and transformative. And I guess that's one of the reasons why we have both continued for all these years. That's 2 decades of study, and we're not finished. We're always learning as we go, and that's what I love about this yoga system. It's a lifelong journey. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And what can we share about what this? So we've been here for 2 weeks now. What can we share about, how what this experience has been like for both of us? I mean, daily we've done what's called a havan, which is a fire ceremony, which is reciting mantras, and what the fire ceremony symbolizes is how we can cleanse our external space, but also purify the internal space. So what shines forth is that radiant true self. Well, how's the fire ceremony been for you, Siobhan?
Absolutely, it's been really thought-provoking in the last couple of weeks for me. I find, even though I'm steeped in my own self-practice, that I just let go that little bit more of the things that sometimes in the Western world, with media, social media around us, and restraints and work life, we sometimes forget. It's normal to forget that, when we're here, we're totally a step back from what we do in our Western life. We can absorb and take that time to realize again the benefits of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So for me, the Havan has allowed me to absolutely separate what I sometimes get hung up on from the real truth inside of me. And that gives me peace, immense peace and calm, and strength and courage as well. And they're all positive qualities. It kind of quenches out the fear, the anger in us, the frustrations, and it allows us just to be in that space, in that time, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so we've been doing that every single morning and evening.
We have also been practicing Pranayama 3 times a day. Even though we've got our own personal practices, the practices that we've been given have really gone very deep into the system because of the repetition and the amount of focus that a daily 3 times a day, daily gives you. So there's no time to be distracted when your focus is purely on your breath and on this kind of very meditative process. Have you found that, Siobhan?
100%, yeah. And the breath does, with the stages that we take ourselves through with our breathing practices, just effortlessly puts us into that meditative state. And when we're in that state, the amount of healing that takes place in the body is phenomenal. calm becomes another level. It really does. As our teacher, Sri OP Tiwari, would say, we're changing the blood chemistry in the body. We're changing the blood chemistry so that that transmits through our whole nervous system. It changes our thoughts, it changes our outlook on life. And that's the richness that both of us are always bringing back through our own teacher trainings, through our classes that we're doing weekly. Everything that we embody is part of this lineage. And there's a huge difference between a lineage and a style of yoga. A lineage has all the science to back it up, all the research. And that's really why I'm here. It's transformed me. I had a lot of illnesses in my teenage years, and they just shed from me so incredibly quickly. And it's an onward journey. It's a journey that we want to give back and put out there into the world so that you can benefit from that as well.
And I think as yoga teachers, you do one training and you think that's it.
Yes.
But actually, we both, and that's why we've known each other for 20 years, we've been training for the entire time that we've known each other. And so, because as yoga teachers, where does it come from? Where does your sharing come from if you're not deep in your own practice? So that's, the first and foremost aspect of how we like to share this practice, that it comes from practice. And as Siobhan says, the practice doesn't just change you, it transforms you, because it's transforming every single cell of your body.
100%, and that's an amazing point, Vicki. It's not, when I did my first teacher training course, I just knew instantly that this just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to even give me enough confidence to teach. It skimmed the surface of everything. And the thing that I've absolutely treasured about the Kaivalyadhama Institute is how rich and deep the teachings are, and they almost transformed me immediately when I started these practices. And I think that's down to the research being the method that we use to teach back these practices, because we know they're trusted, they're tried, they're tested, and that they just work.
I mean, yeah, maybe we should talk a little bit about what's here in the ashram, because there's a hospital wing, there's a massive library, and what Kaivalyadhama pride themselves on is being able to translate the ancient texts. So it's not just come from one text, it's come from several texts, and there's so many scholars here and so many experts in Sanskrit and from a scientific point of view. So we've been seeing doctors this week and Ayurvedic specialists to help us to understand what's happening on a deeper level within our system. So this place is just rich with knowledge, isn't it?
Absolutely. Visited worldwide by people for the health-giving benefits. They've got a huge cancer recovery unit that they've built here as well now. Their recovery and healing from cancer for their patients is revered all through India and worldwide as well now. And I just couldn't rate this place high enough. I think that it's been a little gem that we found in the early days, but I think that the reach for Kaivalyadhama now is getting bigger and bigger, and so it should, because it's changed our lives,
and maybe
transformed.
Maybe the last thing we should mention before we have to go and practice now
we have to go and practice now.
Is the fact that we've been taken care of so well here. The food has been amazing, which is all part and parcel as
and it's medicinal.
It's medicinal, yeah.
For our bellies.
That's right. Siobhan will be sharing on the Ayurvedic training that she's running, is how important food is with yoga. We often don't we don't accept that as part of a yoga journey, but here at Kaivalyadhama it's intrinsically linked to how the practice affects you. So we've also been involved in cleansing practices, but the food has also nourished our bodies, balanced our doshas, and kept our system nice and even.
Absolutely. And how do you feel going home now?
I feel fantastic.
I feel amazing. Top of the world.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be back at some point with some more stories of pranayama and yoga. Thank you.
Thank you.